Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus Pimp Sun Kiss, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, certainly, for another reading for the new moon in Virgo. If you hear a little dilly-dallying going on in the background, that's one of my cats doing some things. So yeah, honey, and without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into the specificities of these cards and the question that I asked. Okay, so this is a part of a saga slash series that I have already started. It's already 2 videos up, and you may not resonate with all of them, but I'm putting them all in one playlist, and the link to the playlist will be in the comment section amongst the signs and symbols of resonation that will be placed in both the title as well as the comment section and this and that of all of the posts on the readings. Okay, so we're gonna be covering messages from the new moon in Virgo, and even though I haven't said it, it's basically been unwritten and in the room with us anyway. Also, the eclipse effects. Okay, so yeah. Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into once again the specificities of y'all's tangs here. So for the card over to the left of them, and y'all's is coming out like quite different from the other two. All of them have their uniquities, if you will. I probably just made up a word, but y'all's is on some more shit. So let's get into it. Over to the left of them, from the Millennial Tarot, we have our card coming from my question concerning getting some messages for y'all from the new moon in Virgo. So what are the messages for y'all from the new moon in Virgo? We have the 8 of Thoughts, aka the 8 of Swords, aka lockdown. Okay. And so the messages coming from here is that, honey, overall, if you know, you know, the 8 of Swords has to do with the sense of imprisonment, but even more so, it being more like a mental, spiritual, emotional imprisonment that is at risk of manifesting in physical ways, and or you could be operating, functioning like a prisoner in some form of way and not realizing it. This can also come from being excessively focused on external things and not having enough time for introspection, and or not going deep enough within yourself, within your studies, within your path observations. I'm hearing also getting to know people. Yeah, okay, so Spirit's about to reveal to me some of the identities, if you will, that are present in this group, such as, what I mean by that is, like, the first video I did had a lot of innate spiritual workers, and then the second video that I did, it had a lot of artists who have the parallel of also, having strong spiritual gifts and abilities that manifest through their artistries and such. And this group, what I'm picking up on is a mix, like a mix of the two, but I'm also picking up like people who are hairdressers, amongst like scientists, barbers, mathematicians, architects, people who are artists in the more, just bringing up the deer totem, y'all. People who are artists in the more practical earthly ways, people who are spiritual workers in the more practical earthly ways. So this is bringing up, like I said, the deer totem, which is earth element in its feminine form. So what's coming up here is y'all have been surrounded by too many people who are like just loud as fuck, and this is not giving good or bad. It's giving a good collective of both. Like, y'all been surrounded by a real good collective of both good and bad people, but everybody for the most part has been loud, just very loud, and seemingly talking all at once, and this consistency of feeling pulled every type of which way. I'm giving some of you may have also trigger warning, also light, love, and healing, okay? Some of you may have gone through foster care or been adopted or been in and out of foster care or something of the sort. And if not, literally, systematically, you bounce around from house to house a lot, one way or another, constantly being sent to this friend, that family member, grandma, aunt, uncle, just constantly being shuffled around everywhere and having so many different influences, having to constantly change your circumstances. I'm hearing also like living out of a trash bag, living out of a suitcase type thing. And if not, like literally having that orphan type of experience, I'm picking up other people somewhere in your spirit. You're an orphan. Because I'm picking up there are some people here who come from 2-parent household. You're raised around, your family and all of that. And for the most part, great family. At least that's how it has seemed for the most part and on the surface. And you don't have much to complain about. But something is coming up here. Something is coming up here in your spirit that hasn't been acknowledged, where you feel like an orphan. And you're just now realizing that you feel like an orphan. Something has shifted. Someone either new in your life or louder in your life, because I'm also picking up, and take what resonates, okay, because stay with the collective, even though I get to tapping into certain specifics or whatever, the parallels parallel, okay, because this is a collective, and like I said, at the same time, take the meat, spit out the bone. So yeah, life has gotten a bit quieter for you all, but there are certain people who are still loud, just because that's just part of their personality, like myself. And so because certain things in your neck of the wood have gotten quieter, and these certain other people have gotten louder, it's waking up something in you. It's waking up something in you I'm hearing your inner child. For a lot of you, it's your inner child has gotten, you know how you can walk in somewhere and a child just immediately turns around and looks you in the face? So it's given as someone who either just entered your life or you just now started to pay more attention to them. You just now started to give like more energy to them in certain ways. And your inner child, it's like that person walked into the room and your inner child looked up like, and it's just in awe, just enamored by that person. And now they are like itching and scratching to not only get to that person and connect with that person on a deeper level, but also I'm hearing emulate, but the word is more like step into the spotlight with them, because you're being reminded who your soul tribe is and where you're supposed to be. Therefore, being reminded who you are in this entirety. Ooh. So it's given, okay, this reading, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's gonna be a bit triggering for y'all. It's gonna be a little confusing, but it's also good. And like I said, y'all is also playing out differently from like the other two, because I got some extra cards that I'm gonna actually let y'all see. Cause Spirit said they want y'all to actually see the cards that came out for y'all's elaboration and such. So yeah, and a reason why this is because something, trigger warning, okay? Y'all have some sort of repressed memory, suppressed emotions that have repressed y'all's memory very badly. And so y'all's emotional memory is having to heal. Y'all's emotional memory is now waking up. It's been dormant for a long time. So if you've been feeling random bouts of anxiety in your chest, like suddenly feeling the need to like your breath is stammering. So Spirit is saying what's going on there is there's anger waking up in you that's been dormant for a long time, and you don't even know where it's coming from because your memory bank has been fucked up. Somebody fucked your memory bank up when you were a child, specifically through your emotional memory. I'm getting that this happened for some of you around the age of 3, for some of you when you were a newborn, for some of you when you're about 1, somewhere around 2, somewhere between like 1, 2, all of those areas. Somewhere I'm hearing 8 years old, somewhere I'm hearing 6 years old, somewhere I'm hearing 10, 11. So it's given a range between, honestly, newborn to like the age of 13. This is a collective now, okay? So like I said, take what resonates, leave the rest on the flow. But yeah, Spirit is saying that y'all's emotional memory bank, I'm hearing like shipwreckage. And this could also be a past life vision that I'm getting. This could also be some real shit that happened that y'all just don't have a visual memory of. And this could also be a paralleling analogy that's coming through. But I am picking up somewhere, there is a literal boat for some of you that some shit got destroyed on. So let me bring it all together. What channeled through clairaudiently just a minute ago was data destroyed and shipwreckage. Literally, like in that kind of robotic tone. Now, I'm very animated naturally, so I don't know if that translated as robotic as Spirit intended, but that's how that shit just channeled through. Data destroyed and shipwreckage. So another element of that is I literally see someone's emotional memory bank snap like Thanos and dissolve. And like the imagery of Men in Black, where they flash the light and it clear their memory. Oh, as well as the way that Cicely would like extremely gaslight Eve on Eve's Bayou, much like the daddy on Eve's Bayou would also gaslight the fuck out of them. Specifically, such as like when he gets caught having sex with their neighbor, and Eve is visibly distraught, and he immediately rushes over to tell her that what she saw isn't what she saw, and what she feels isn't what she feels, and that it's actually something else going on. And then, and not to mention, he also scolds her for having a reaction to what she saw as well. There's also this concept I never knew of until I heard someone also from New Orleans speak on this movie, did a review on it, and when they spoke on that part in particular, but Eve apologizes for her reaction. They brought to my attention that children will often be, oh, this is bringing up that song. Okay, hold on. The children will often be scolded and punished for having natural emotions, natural reactions to things that they would see, or just in general, right? So the song that just came up and channeled through as I was saying that was, you better not shout, you better not cry, you better not pout, and I'm telling you why, Santa Claus is coming to town. And one of my Leo friends had shared something with the lyrics to that song on it the other day. And they were like, what is actually up with this song? Because, what's with these lyrics? And honestly, like, that's a part of one of my spiritual gifts, to decode artworks for the deeper spiritual meanings and things of that nature. And as I read it in my first mind, I was like, it's a slave song. And so it's interesting here that it came up right through this channeling, in which recollect that children were once, not much has changed in a lot of ways, but children were once mostly had for labor purposes. Therefore, children were, for a long time, a lot of times, seen as cattle, as numbers, as just slaves, not human, not autonomous, not worthy, not valuable, only a means to an end to do labor and feed and fuel the adults. So that's that song channeling through here is exactly speaking to and about that, and as well as something from that that's been instilled in y'all one way or another, and this narrative of you better not shout, you better not cry, you better not pout, and I'm telling you why. And very, very young, being fed that you don't have a right to have emotions, that it's wrong for you to have emotions, that is counterproductive, that is disrespectful, that is unladylike for you to have emotions that involve crying, being angry, shouting, pouting. And this has done a detriment on y'all's spiritual ability, spiritual capacity, perception, y'all's emotional capacity, mental capacity, and perception. So that's why I said this is going to be probably very triggering for y'all, because yeah, they telling me go ahead and say it now. And I'm going Spirit is approving for me to allow this reading to be a bit longer than the other ones. So it wanted to be made clear. Y'all are amazing. And y'all have done extremely amazing, especially considering the circumstances that you all have been subjected to. And you are enough. And they're wanting you to know that where you are right now is not enough. And I know they probably just pissed some of y'all off, or just really like got y'all shocked and a nigga named Paul, or like, huh? What you mean, huh? Because I'm hearing some of y'all just bought a house or just moved into a new home. Some of y'all just got engaged. Some of y'all just got married. Some of y'all just got a new job. Some of y'all just got a promotion. Some of y'all just really hit a major milestone. And I'm not gonna lie, Spirit is saying, don't get comfortable right there. Spirit is saying, don't get comfortable. And the reason why they're telling you not to get comfortable is because they want you to be proud of the accomplishment, the milestone that you just hit. But a tower moment is about to happen, and it's meant to make it very clear to y'all that y'all are out of bounds. Like, y'all been doing what you're all the right moves in all the wrong places. And it's crazy because it's not on just the surface level. It's real deep, y'all. I'm sorry. It's real deep. It's real deep that y'all have been like, y'all are not where y'all supposed to be. Y'all in the wrong class. Y'all just graduated, and that ain't even the fucking field you supposed to be in or where you finna be sent. And Spirit is saying this is a part of why you've been shuffled through so many different households, cities, states, lifestyles, this and that and the third, all the way up until this point, because, and this is taking it back to a past life situation, and this is gonna get us to the next couple of cards, okay? Over to the rights of them, right, from the past life oracle deck. So this, I knew I kept saying Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty and shit like that, and now it's channeling through as to why, because somewhere in y'all's past lives, somebody, yeah, I'm literally hearing, because I wanted to try to find a way to make it practical, but Spirit said, no, that's the fucking problem. Steady trying to be practical when the issue is not practical. It's spiritual. Someone put a spell on you, and now you're gone, gone, gone. They put a spell on you, and it was strong. It was like dead ass, and it's just now starting to wear off. And so the spell had to do with totally displacing you off your past, totally blinding you from your purpose. And one part of that is shipwrecking your emotional memory, because as spiritual workers and as beings in general, our emotions are directly attached to our intuition. And so if and when you are a spiritual worker, if and when you are an artist, your emotions being dormant, your emotions being shipwrecked, like you would rather, and I'm not encouraging this, but you would rather be overly emotional than be numb. Seriously, especially if you are a spiritual worker or artist. You would rather be hypersensitive than be nonchalant, than be complacent, than be passive. That is why, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm hearing y'all's ancestors are frustrated with y'all, but they're also like, they're taking accountability because they know that they kind of play a part in why this like passive energy, suppression of emotions and shit, how that thing was like passed down as well. So let's hop into the specificities of these past life oracle cards. I asked what cycles are being deadened from this new moon in Virgo. And so y'all's is kind of tricky. Ooh, I just heard a non-C. Ooh, child. Interesting. Let's stick a pin in that fact. So here's the thing. Nothing's really ending. Everything really isn't. Everything really isn't. Bro, that was like random. That took over me. I had no control over that. That's Ways by Janae Eco that just channeled through. Because I was trying to figure out how the fuck to say what the fuck they're trying to, basically how to make it make sense to y'all, how to put it in, you know, a language for y'all. And 44 minutes to 4, 444, ooh. And I'm hearing with it also time is a construct, right? So you keep hearing me say milestones, milestones, milestones. And some of y'all might be like, well, a milestone is every 7 years. Don't get lost in the sauce of the time. Okay? So it's a bunch of shit that's about to come to an end, and it's going to swiftly re-begin. And what's different about this collective from the other 2 videos that I did, and those collectives in particular, those had things that were clearly dissolving, coming to an end. Like that's the end of that shit. Y'all's, on the other hand, you have some particular things coming to an end. Amongst some of you may resonate with either of those other videos. All the while, there's something bigger here for y'all specifically, okay? Which is a big fat ass redo. And that might sound quite scary for some of you. I'm not gonna lie, you should be excited, and I'm not gonna lie, if you're scared, that's very valid. Because what I'm seeing here is y'all finna have to, okay, so some of y'all is gonna be a forced decision, and some of y'all gonna heed an epiphany, a red flag, or something of the sort is gonna hit you, and you're gonna be like, you know what, let me pump my brakes on this, and let me like X out and go completely down a totally different path. And for some of you, you're very committed where you at, and I know you feel like, damn, I just accomplished this. Like, I just reached this milestone. I just manifested this. I just got everything that I've been fucking setting in the stars. God, spirit, what the fuck are you talking about? I gotta leave it now. Huh? What are you talking about? And I'm not gonna lie, this is very biblical. And I feel like the only reason the Bible, the biblical past life card didn't come out is because there's spiritual abuse that's going on here. And it's been a pathology of such, and it's deep rooted. So they are wanting you to honestly go no contact with the Bible for a while. I'm gonna be obedient, spirit. Okay, I'm finna rephrase what I just said, because I changed the last word at the very last second, and they told me don't say it like that, be obedient and say exactly what they said. If I'm gonna quote them correctly, they said go no contact with the Bible for a spell. That's what they said. Spell is being used as a double triple entendre here, both as a time measurement as well as spells. So there's a lot of declarative energy here. Declarative. Declare. Ooh, I just heard I declare war. Ooh, thumb war. But what I'm seeing for some of y'all is the thumb war is online. You're about to get into an online war. Somebody's about to ignite war with you online. And you are going to, you're going to try everything in your power not to fucking respond, not to get involved. But it's going to happen regardless. It's gonna happen regardless. You're gonna try everything in your power not to engage in this declaration of war. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And Spirit is saying this is also your fault, because it's something they told you to do a while ago, and it's something that they've been telling you to do leading up to this point that could have helped you either avoid this particular battle, and or could have helped you have more ammo, if you will. And what they mean by ammo is a higher vibration. A higher vibration to be more untouched by the situation. And so, and being honest, and I'm saying why they wanted me to let this one be longer. And being honest, y'all not gonna come up from this battle scot-free. And it's bringing me the imagery, and I'm sure this is also a channeling. There's an Aztec deity of war, and he has, I think it's a peg leg. And it has the symbolism of wounded healer. Okay, and so this cycle and this redo that y'all are getting is to snatch you out of the wounded healer functionality, because it's not meant for y'all to be wounded healers in this lifetime. Y'all are meant to be breaking through that cycle and coming into simply being regenerative. And to speak very clearly, and I'm finna stop pussyfooting, get out the way, Pisces moon, into all 3 of my Leo placements. All right now, so y'all have been imprisoned, honey. The frequency of imprisonment has been embedded in y'all to the point where y'all think that it's a way of life. And y'all have been given like a lot of gratification in different ways for being a good little prisoner, and you haven't realized it. So this lessons and blessings card is sideways. And the reason why is you have a great understanding of lessons and blessings, processes, the time it takes to build things, earn things, grow things, have a really good graceful elements about yourself, very mannerable, given like graceful in the terms of the way you carry yourself, like literally the way you walk, the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you talk. Everything is very by the book graceful. And as natural as it is, you don't realize the way that you've been trained to perform it like a good little robotic prisoner. So, as well as you understand things, you're a little too understanding. Ooh, look at that rain coming down as soon as I said that. Child. But yeah, Spirit is saying that y'all are understanding to the fault that y'all have failed to learn your own lessons, and you're steady repeating the same dance routine over and over and over again. But you think because a different song is playing, that is different. Because here's the thing, and it's interesting, Spirit wants me to explain it just like this. You can do the same choreography to a different song, a plethora of different songs, especially if they're different tempos, they have different key measures and things of that nature, and it can literally trick your brain into thinking you are doing different choreography because the moves are being done on a different time measure, as opposed to it being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It gets switched to 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 5, 6, 7 and E and a 8 and 1, 2 E and a. And even though you're doing the same choreography, it feels so different just because it's a different time measure. Just because it's a different time measure doesn't mean you're not still doing the same choreography. Golly. Now, why y'all snap like that? I know Anansi is present here because Anansi deals in music and rhythms and things of that nature. Ooh, child. And that's specifically, I was going to say explicitly, but I guess that would be an appropriate word as well. But explicitly and specifically as it gets into the storytelling aspects, as it delves in the karma of poor decisions. And so Spirit is saying you're going to be in a very paralleling cycle of forgiving yourself while you redeem yourself. Forgiving yourself for doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different. So what Anansi is saying here is you've been using your cleverness poorly. Oh, I ain't gonna, you want me to say that? No. Wait, it's got to be a different way. We can say that. Okay? You're sitting at the head of your own dinner table and you're acting like the waiter. So what does that mean? They want me to say it straight up. You being weak, willfully weak. That's what they are wanting y'all to realize. That's what they're fixing to make very clear to y'all, and saying like they're about to allow some shit to go down, and that y'all have also allowed a lot of shit to go down, and it's about to bust you in the face. It's about to wrap around your legs like them vines on Evil Dead in the woods and snatch you right on in to put you very much so face to face in a mirror with how you've been weak with yourself. It's like you've been so strong for so many other people, but when it's come to yourself, you function. I've been avoiding saying this, but they keep saying it. They want me to say it. You've been functioning like a weak ass bitch. And folks finna start treating you real strongly like a weak ass bitch. And Spirit is saying, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Learn to listen and stop letting people play on your blessing. Stop letting people play on the blessing that you are. Stop selling yourself short. Stop settling. Stop settling. Stop performing for cookies when you deserve a feast. Not just a whole cake, but an entire feast. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 2, 3 on 2 different clocks as I clock back in. And I'm hearing you sold certain parts of your soul to the devil. And as you're about to reach that contract, they're coming back to collect. You're snapping back into your divine design, your divine being. And that's gonna force you to face how spiritually bankrupt you've actually been. Now, innately, you were not spiritually bankrupt, but somewhere along the line in your path, like I say, you sold certain parts of your soul to the devil. And so functioning on the frequency of spiritual bankruptcy, and therefore it's giving me this analogy again that comes up a lot. The longer you perform a certain way, the longer you act a certain way, the longer you play dumb, play green, play coy, the more it becomes you. The more it becomes you. Therefore, stupid is as stupid does. The more you do stupid shit, no matter how intelligent you actually are, stupid is as stupid does. And that's Anansi channeling through directly from the galactic card. Stupid is as stupid does. So as these things roll in, as this tower falls, as this chaos ensues, I'm not gonna lie, Anansi specifically is saying to remember, stupid is as stupid does. And Santizama specifically is bringing up this card from the Rebel Oracle deck. If you don't like where you are, stop taking yourself there. They want you to get tired of being where you are, so you will finally decide to stop taking yourself there. Not only stop inviting shit to your space, but also stop inviting yourself to lackluster shit. Stop making excuses for things and people that is just simply unfucking acceptable. And this is where Spirit is directing me to get into basically showing you the elaboration cards of y'all's layout and reading right on time, because I thought I was gonna have to edit. Look at that, okay? So boom, TikTok, over to the left of them, we have the romantic love card in reverse. And I'm gonna read it off. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience with and reflection of a conscious lover. So this card is in reverse for you all, and it's elaborating on the galactic card, whereas y'all spirit has been stuck in a freaking long ass cycle. Y'all spirit has been stuck in a millennium. I believe that's 1,000 years. That's the word they sent to me. That's like in 1,000 years. Spirit is saying y'all spirit for 1,000 years has served 1,000 years in a romantic love prison. Y'all know the song that's channeling through as I just said that? I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it and said they were suckers. They wanted me to join the army or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I say never. Spirit is most certainly saying go listen to that. That is Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos by Public Enemy. They want y'all to go listen to that. I ain't even gonna go to the detail. They want y'all to go fishing, baby, by going to listen to this song. So your frequency of romantic love, even as it concerns your relationship with yourself, has been stuck in a prison for 1,000 years. And I'm hearing too that that person that was mentioned earlier in the reading, that your inner child saw walk into your life and has been like clawing for dear life to get to connect with, to, synchronize with in the way that you evolve yourself to that frequency where you're supposed to be. That person is like, when you listen to the song, you're going to understand. That person is your Chuck D. That person is your Chuck D in the scenario of the story that he's telling in that song. That person, I'm just going to speak it. That person got locked in a prison with you. One way or another, that person got locked in a prison with you. So it could be that person has been through what you've been through in a plethora of different ways, one way or another. Or that person literally, that person literally just had to go through what you're about to go through. Right before they came into your life, or right before your inner child truly noticed them straight up, that person went through what you're about to have to go through. And they have the key to break you out. They have the key. They're your key to unlocking your frequency of love, your frequency of self-love, your frequency of protective love, your frequency of romantic love with yourself, your frequency of all of your love languages for yourself. They are bringing and have brought you the key, and they got a ring of keys for you. They got a ring of keys for you, and they got their steel in the right hand, and they looking for the fence. They going for that fence. I'm telling y'all, Spirit is saying, listen to that song, because if you ain't never heard that song, if you're not familiar with that song, you're not going to thoroughly understand this message like talking about. You need to go listen to that song. So the next card we have is the Divine Masculine card. Number 22 is on there too, y'all. So on the Romantic Love card, the strongest number we got there is 3 and 9. Because the number on there is 39. But then also when you put 3 and 9 together, you get 12, which equals up to 3. And then on the Divine Masculine card, you got 22, and that equals out to number 4. So we got the number 4 again as well. And we also got the color blue again. There's a lot of throat chakra channelings through here. So that goes without saying. Y'all's throat chakra is being bust open, cracked open. Okay. The frequency of Divine Masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. Baby, I feel like what's understood don't have to be explained. But what I will explain and emphasize is that a part of this is, see, a lot of people misconstrue masculinity and emotions, their relationship, how they exist with one another. But it's like anger is on the frequency of masculinity. You need your masculine energy. You just need it to be balanced, clever, and properly directed. And very, very interesting that the card after that is the Passion card. Look at the color scheme on there. I ain't even gonna describe it too deeply. Just look at the color scheme on there. And let's also talk about the number on it, which is 34. What's the numbers we were just talking about? 3 and 4. No, and then the Passion card, we have the combination of the colors red, pink, and blue. And the color scheme on the Passion card is basically the opposite. You probably can't really hardly see it in this coloration, but it's basically the opposite of the color scheme in the Divine Masculine card. And 3 and 4 make 7. And we've been talking about milestones, and 7 is also a number of milestones. We've also been talking about karma. 7 is also a number of karma. Also a number of luck. So what I want to emphasize to you as well, as creepy as these messages have been, y'all are protected. Spirit is just lighting a fire under y'all ass to get more protective of yourself. Get more protective of yourself, because you've been thinking too externally galactic, externally divine, and you're needing to remember that all of that is within you. All of that is within you. And that is the reason why you have been able to recognize and connect with it in the way that you have all of this time, despite the amount of shit that you've been through, despite blinding spells being on you. Despite all of this different shit, abuse, orphanism, neglect, abandonment, all that shit that you've been through, you've still been tuned in. That's because it's innate. It's a part of you. The issue is somewhere, and I'm sure, it's part of the spells and all of that is where grace comes in. And, the toxic pathologies and all of those things, that's also where grace comes in amongst y'all needing y'all passion back. I'm picking up really strong fire sign placements amongst really strong Gemini placements specifically. Okay, because y'all are needing to talk y'all's shit. Y'all are needing to cuss some folks the fuck out. Y'all are needing to expose some people. I'm also hearing the poem from For Color Girls channel through. Somebody almost ran off with all of my stuff, and none of it is theirs. Somebody almost ran off with all of y'all stuff. But see, the thing is, they couldn't run far enough because they so addicted to your energy, they keep coming back. They almost got away with it, but they keep coming back. And or they always start doing something to win back your favor. They always start performing They start to mirror you in ways that they perform the same choreography to different time measures to make you believe that they're worthy of sticking around now. Feeding into the blinding frequency. But the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insights, balance, and calm. I'm gonna read that again for y'all. The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion, every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. And that long-lasting wisdom is what y'all have been steadily getting blinded from. Y'all been taking in the lessons and the blessings, but y'all been blinded from the wisdom. And that's what's been keeping y'all steady repeating the same choreography to different time measures, delusioning yourself and being delusioned that is something strikingly different happening. But it's about to happen, and y'all are about to make it happen. And Spirit is about to make motherfucking sure that y'all make it happen. You thought that you were already the proof that what God has for you is for you beyond the shadow of a doubt, but they're about to prove it to you 10 times over by making you prove it to yourself, by making you face your intense emotions that you have been suppressing and that you have been in certain ways forced to suppress. Not just for all of your life up to this point, but it's been 1,000 years, not just 84 years, but 1,000 years for your soul, and that's too long. And Spirit is saying at least 100 of that is your own soul's fault. And so y'all are being called to, I'm hearing, go on an eat, pray, love journey. And this is something that y'all are also being put on a path. My ears just started ringing. Y'all are also being put on this path to manifest an eat, pray, love journey for y'all to abscond for some period of time and go get deep spiritual cleansing from elder mothers and elder fathers, the elder spiritual workers, that is, okay? Elder, seasoned, high-ranking, pure-hearted spiritual workers to do deep-rooted spiritual cleanses on y'all, because y'all, I'm not gonna lie, there is something deep and dark and ugly and nasty and demonic that has been put on y'all spirit throughout different centuries of lifetimes that y'all have existed in, including this one, and it's starting to shed off. The Spirit is saying y'all need to abscond and have a spiritual rehabilitation process. For some of y'all need to also, go to an actual rehab. And for some of you, y'all are needing to abscond and go somewhere to an island, to somewhere that is like remote, ducked off, where there are elder spiritual workers that are pure-hearted, that do the specific cleanses that you need. And it's gonna be, some similarities and differences because this is a collective, but y'all are gonna know what y'all need. Spirit is gonna make sure that y'all know, because also Spirit is making sure that there are people around y'all that are loud in the right ways, like me, to make it clear for you what is going on. It's giving really strong sun energy, really, really, really strong sun energy. So pay very close attention to Leos in your life. Pay very, very close attention to Leos in your life, as well as Geminis. I'm picking up Geminis as well. Is there any other zodiac energy that you want to say? Evolved Pisces. Oh, they're saying elder Virgos, but they are acknowledging that is a tricky one, okay? So they're just wanting you to take a broad, detailed, deep, as well as specific look at elder feminine Virgos, including gay men, including openly gay men who are Virgos. And or maybe even men who are Virgos that have speculations around them. Hey, that's what I'm picking up. Okay? And all of that taps into also the final card that is here, a win-win forecast is, my bad, y'all, my dyslexia kicked in. A win-win outcome is forecast. And that is full moon in Libra. This card came out sideways because this is a crossroads decision for y'all. Because, like I said, Spirit is making sure that it's happening regardless. Howsoever, it's given. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. And I'm not gonna lie, if you make it hard, you're gonna have some karma on the back end for that, as you already have. Because again, it was coming up, it's like 100 of these years on your soul sentence to this imprisonment, to the bullshit, has been like kind of your own fault. Because you've had a lot of people make some things very clear to you for a long ass time, but you still just be like, okay, Spirit to take care of it. And that's great faith to have, but you must remember your own power, your own free will, your own part to play in your own life. You are co-collabing here with Spirit, as well as what this energy is giving here is really close proximity. Let me not even say that. That's me trying to be practical. That's my Virgo Mercury coming in on this Good Wednesday. And she needs to shut up. When we just talking about that Virgo energy. But yeah, y'all are tapped in and being initiated by some high-ranking deities. So y'all don't really have, I say it like this, but y'all don't really have the liberty of just being like, oh, Spirit to take care of it, because it's very important for you to remember. It's the God in you. It's the God in you, looking so fresh, looking so clean. but it's the God in you. Now, I behoove y'all. Some of y'all probably gonna have to listen to this multiple times. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it's gonna be some of this shit that's just gonna have to come back to you as you're going through your process. Because I feel like this is Anansi speaking again through the voice of Ramic from Sinners. And I'm not gonna quote it exact, I don't think, but the general consensus is there. This is a beautiful thing y'all built here, but it was built on a lie. And that kind of takes it back to some of those channelings that came through earlier in the reading, whereas like some of y'all just hit major milestones. Some of y'all just graduated. Some of y'all just got a house. Some of y'all just got, your own new place. Some of y'all just got a new job. Some of y'all just got engaged. Some of y'all just got married. And then it's going to be something that comes in that says, that ain't it. You got to abscond abruptly, soon, expeditiously. Run, run, run. Don't keep yourself waiting. Because as great and profound as all of this shit is that you just built and came into and accomplished, it was built on a lie. And Spirit is telling me to leave it right there. So I'm going to include, I usually don't include this saying in the long ones, but I'm pulled to include it. I already kind of said it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it again. As I wrap up and do my outro, honey, I believe it's about that time where I remind y'all, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man a fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Y'all go fishing, baby. And with all that being said, y'all, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow Jiraiya, and I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotes for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section with your purchase and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.